Okay, that's good. We're going to get into the questions for a little bit. So the first question I wanted to ask you, with you being just going all around the world and being so successful, what made you start and keep the two restaurants that you started here in Cleveland?
Well, I'm going to tell you a funny thing about success. I have a friend of mine that owns one of the most beautiful, one of the most successful restaurants in Rome. The restaurant is called Agata e Romeo. And it's funny, I met him like 20 years ago. Went to see him 5 years ago, and he says, "Oh my God, Terry Tarantino." And I can't believe this guy remembered me. You know, I was with my girlfriend, and I said, "See, this guy remembers me." And, so the guy says, you look better than you did 15 years ago. I said, "Well, that's a compliment, I guess." But we started talking, and in his restaurant, Roberto Benigni is a very famous Italian actor. And Sofia Loren, if you know, is one of the most famous Italian actresses. They hang out in his kitchen like they're friends. So that's the kind of place he has. He says to me, "You know, Terry, I don't have a lot of money. If I want to go to an opera, I can get good tickets anytime. If I want to go see a soccer game, I can get good tickets anytime. I have a good life, but I don't have a lot of money." And that's what the restaurant business can do for you, because you have a lot of friends, you meet a lot of people, and successful. I don't consider myself successful. Thank you for the compliment, but
No problem.
I went to Jamaica 12, 15 times. My friend paid for everything, but I had to cook for everybody that was there. And I loved it. I enjoyed it. When I went to Turkey, I went there 3 times. I opened 2 restaurants. My friend paid for everything. I absolutely lived like a king, and I worked very hard when I was there. And I loved it. I love cooking for people. I love going to Jamaica and cooking for some Jamaican people, for some people from all over the world that were there, and seeing how they reacted to what I was cooking. It was very unique. Because in Cleveland and Little Italy, we don't have tourists. So you're cooking for people you know all the time. And believe me, those could be the biggest pain in the necks when you know people, because they're constantly complaining about one thing or another. But when you are cooking for tourists, it's the easiest thing in the world. When I'm cooking for people that are at University Hospital or Cleveland Clinic, I can't believe how complimentary they are.
Right.
People from Cleveland are a little rough, but it's okay. It's like being in boot camp, you know. So sometimes it's better to deal with the people that the natives, the people that live where you're at, because they teach you. They're the ones that are tough on you. So when the easy ones come in, it's okay, and that's why I enjoyed that. But I was able to travel because I have good friends that took care of me and gave me opportunities. That's how I was able to do it.
Okay.
I could have never afforded to live the way I lived and did what I did
Okay.
if it wasn't for my friends.
Okay.
But,
So that
and
makes
and I spent a week and a half in Morocco. It was amazing. In
Okay.
Marrakesh, amazing. And I tell people, this is the greatest country in the world. And believe me, as much fun as I ever had when I go anywhere, when I come home, I kiss the ground. Because I love Italy, but to change $500, it takes 500 hours, and you have to sign 10 documents. I mean, there's always a glitch to something.
Right.
And I love Italy and I love Turkey, but there's no place like home. And this is the greatest country. But on the same side, I have loved every place I've ever been to. I mean, I was on the Sahara Desert, and it was amazing.
Okay.
Morocco was amazing. Turkey, I'll take that back. I wasn't crazy about Bulgaria. It still felt like communism. So.
Well, that's not not a good feeling to have. Not a good feeling to have at all.
But other than that, I mean, I love everywhere I've been.
Okay. Well, with so many nice places to hang out in Cleveland, such as Ohio City, Tremont, Little Italy,
Yes.
East Fourth, what do you think the best places for young professionals to go and hang out, besides La Strada and La Dolce Vita, because I know it's the best places to go?
No, I mean, I love Shaker Square, and I mean, there's so many little pockets in Cleveland, and I like Gordon Square. I like Battery Park.
Okay.
There's a place called
Wine bar?
No, what's it called? Redstone, and in Battery Park.
Okay.
Uh, and that's a great little niche that's up and coming. Gordon Square is really starting to, there's a place, a coffee shop called Gypsy. I love going to Gypsy.
Okay.
She makes great pastries there. That's a very, very cool place. I don't like places that are so like perfect, you know. I like Gypsy is a really unique place because it's a great coffee shop. She makes all her stuff there, and she does a really great job. And it's things are a little bit worn and broken down a little bit and natural. And Gordon Square it's a cool neighborhood because there's some nice shops over there, and the places on Lorraine, the shop on Lorraine. For me, the big thing about Cleveland, and when you start traveling and you go to these other cities, you see billboards and all these signages everywhere. Cleveland doesn't have that. Cleveland is very natural for a big city. It's very natural. And our architecture is some of the best architecture I've seen anywhere. And we're so used to it, we don't realize it until people come here from Toronto and they're amazed. People from Chicago come here and they tell me how beautiful the bridges and how beautiful our town is. They can't believe it. But what we don't realize is we have a very natural, the architects and the city planning people here, they did a good job of keeping a lot of crappy billboards off the streets, and I mean, it's a very natural city. And we do not have franchises like other cities. I mean, if you all ever been to Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, every franchise in the world is there. You know, and it's crazy because
do the Peyton Manning a little bit. I think Peyton Manning brought a lot of those things to downtown Indianapolis. You know,
well, that could be, that could be, but that's the